Spirit of the North is a third-person adventure game that came out in 2020 and was developed by Infuse Studio and published by Merged Games. An enhanced edition was released later on that included things like updated textures, better frame rate, and some extra skins. There is no dialogue in the game, and the narrative is shown through environmental storytelling and other gameplay elements. You play as a fox, and through the guide of a spirit fox, must overcome challenges and journey towards a mountain to detain some sort of spreading affliction. The length of the game is not incredibly long, and it offers up a decent amount of varied environments to run around in, so it never really gets boring, but does become a bit dull. The fox you play as can run around and jump through platforming sections, but the jumping is a bit finicky. Your jumps can suddenly fall short or cut off completely mid-animation. Turning mid-jump isn't as flexible as you may want it, making some platforming sections rather annoying. At certain points, you will be climbing high towers or intricate structures, and falling because of walking controls can cause detrimental loss of progress and patience. The fox you control will also gain new powers along the way thanks to the spirit fox that you follow. Assessing your powers will often have you finding blue flowers in order to activate your abilities. When you absorb the light from the flowers, the controller rumbles. One time when I was doing this, the controller didn't stop rumbling. I had to fully restart to make it stop. The rumbling feature in the game in general is irritating. You have to use the flowers enough because of the need of your abilities, so the rumble from that alone is exhausting. The intensity seems like it's set too high for it. The game looks good graphically, if not just a tiny bit dated. The vast environments are beautiful and are fun to run around in. Rolling green hills and swift-moving rivers are incredibly welcomed in adventure games like this, where nature almost acts as another character. The way that the snow and water moves isn't that appealing though. It is kind of muddy and sloppy the way it makes contact with the fox. While the world is large and the design of the different things you will see all works thematically, it feels incredibly tedious. The world is empty, and the crux of the game comes down to you just using your abilities to solve simple puzzles. So the entire game, you're running and jumping around in a vacant space. It can be relaxing if you are in the mood for something like this, or if you want to keep your fingers busy while you listen to a podcast or something. But it never becomes rewarding when you need to solve puzzles constantly to make your way forward. The music is heartfelt, but kind of shallow. The music sounds and feels very purposeful and drives you to continue the journey, but sometimes it sort of doesn't fit. The sound design is the same way. It all feels just a bit off, but it's enough to notice. The pitter-patter of the fox's paws walking against the stone platform isn't as impressionable as it should be. The ending of the game is fantastic though, and that's when I feel like the music, sound, and everything comes together quite nicely. Spirit of the North is a cute adventure with some moments that may pull at your heartstrings because of the subject matter, but it never reaches the heights of a must-play experience. Graphically, the game does a good job of providing an inviting space to run around in. The controls of the fox can create an unpleasant trip through your cool surroundings though, as well as weird intense rumble design. The game is pretty short, and the puzzle solving is unique and interesting, but the game feels a bit longer than it actually is, because of how empty the world is and how mismatched the tone of the music can get. Glitches were a common occurrence of my playthrough, which was bothersome at points where I lost all my progress, but the ending of the game was satisfying and worth the stress of my journey. I give Spirit of the North a 5 out of 10.